On November 19, 2025, French President Emmanuel Macron participated in a debate at the Gambetta Carnot High School in Arras, located in the Pas-de-Calais region. The discussion, organised in collaboration with the newspaper La Voix du Nord, focused on the theme of democracy tested by social media and algorithms. The event was an opportunity for Macron to share his views on the growing influence of digital platforms and their impact on democratic processes, as well as the responsibility of these platforms in the face of disinformation. The choice of venue was symbolic, as Gambetta Carnot High School had been marked by tragedy. In October 2023, the institution was the site of a violent attack when Dominique Bernard, a literature teacher, was tragically murdered by one of his former students who had become radicalized. This event had a profound impact on the local community and France as a whole, highlighting the vulnerabilities of democratic institutions in the face of radicalism and misinformation. Against this somber backdrop, Macron took the opportunity to address the challenges of modern democracy, focusing on the role of technology and social media in shaping public opinion. One of the key issues raised during the debate was the growing problem of disinformation and the need for more rigorous standards for the content disseminated on social media and news websites. Macron, recognizing the power of these platforms in shaping public discourse, emphasized the need for a system that could distinguish reliable sources from unreliable ones. He proposed the establishment of a professional certification system for social media and news outlets aimed at improving the trustworthiness of online information. He explained, "We will do everything to put in place a label. We must be careful. It is not the government or the state that can say, this is information, this is not. We don't want to fall into that trap either, because that's not what democracy is about." Macron's remarks reflected his concern that government control over information could lead to censorship, undermining the democratic principles of free speech and press freedom. Instead, he argued that a label created by professionals would be a more effective solution. This certification system, he suggested, could help ensure that the information being shared adheres to ethical standards, creating a reliable resource for the public while respecting the independence of the press. He continued, "On the other hand, I think it's important that there be a label created by professionals who can say this corresponds to the ethics of people who handle information." The President's position on information ethics highlights the delicate balance between ensuring accurate reporting and protecting the freedom of expression. Macron acknowledged that information is a powerful tool, one that must be handled with care. He referred to it as a dangerous thing, underscoring the risks that come with the rapid spread of unverified or false information, particularly on platforms that have a global reach. Macron's call for a professional certification system is not the first time he has addressed the issue of digital misinformation. Throughout his presidency, he has consistently highlighted the risks posed by social media algorithms, which often amplify polarizing content and fake news. However, this proposal for a labeling system marked a more concrete step toward creating a solution. The certification system would aim to establish a clear distinction between credible sources of information and those that contribute to misinformation, helping citizens navigate the increasingly complex media landscape. In the course of the debate, Macron also discussed the broader implications of artificial intelligence, AI, in the democratic process. He highlighted the fact that AI is increasingly being used by citizens to help make decisions, including political ones. Looking ahead to future elections, Macron predicted that more and more voters would turn to their AI agents to help them decide who to vote for. He explained, "In the next municipal elections, in the next presidential elections, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. More and more of our fellow citizens are going to go to their AI agent, and they're going to ask, who am I going to vote for?" This statement underscored Macron's concerns about the growing influence of AI on the political landscape. With the increasing reliance on AI for decision-making, there are real concerns about the neutrality and transparency of these systems. Macron expressed uncertainty about the interests of the companies behind AI technologies, especially platforms like ChatGPT. He pointed out that these companies have vested interests which might not always align with the democratic values of France. He cautioned, the thing is, the people who own ChatGPT have vested interests behind it. I'm not sure if those interests are democratically neutral or totally aligned with the interests of France. Macron's remarks on AI reflect the global concerns about the role of technology companies in shaping public opinion and influencing elections. The use of AI to suggest political choices to voters raises questions about transparency, accountability, and the potential for manipulation. With AI systems becoming more sophisticated, there is an increasing risk that voters could be influenced by algorithms that prioritize certain viewpoints over others, potentially distorting democratic processes. While Macron acknowledged the potential benefits of AI in providing voters with information, he also highlighted the risks associated with its use in the political sphere. His concerns were not limited to AI's potential influence on elections in France, but also the broader global implications of AI technologies. As AI continues to evolve, its influence on political decision-making will only grow, making it crucial to consider the ethical and democratic implications of its use. Throughout the debate, Macron was also keen to emphasize the importance of preserving democracy in an increasingly digital world. He expressed his belief that social media platforms and algorithms must be held accountable for their role in shaping public opinion. However, he also warned against the dangers of government overreach, stressing that any measures taken to address disinformation and algorithmic manipulation must respect the principles of free speech and press freedom. The President's statements reflect a broader global debate about the intersection of technology, democracy, and governance. As social media platforms and AI technologies continue to play an increasingly central role in public life, governments around the world are grappling with how to regulate these technologies without undermining the democratic values that underpin free societies. Macron's proposal for a professional certification system represents one potential solution to the challenges posed by disinformation and algorithmic manipulation, but it also raises important questions about the role of government in regulating the digital space. In conclusion, Macron's remarks at the debate in Arras reflect his growing concern about the influence of social media and AI on democracy. The President's proposal for a certification system for news websites and social media platforms highlights the need for greater transparency and accountability in the digital space. While he acknowledged the dangers of misinformation, he also stressed the importance of protecting free speech and ensuring that any regulatory measures respect democratic principles. The discussion around AI's role in the democratic process is also an area of concern for Macron, who raised important questions about the neutrality and accountability of AI technologies. As these issues continue to evolve, Macron's comments underscore the importance of finding solutions that balance the need for regulation with the preservation of democratic values.
Mon pays, et je ne veux pas que ni l'extrême droite ni l'extrême gauche le gouvernent.
Bernard Marchand, CEO du groupe de presse Rossel. Messieurs, dames, Bernard Marchand, je vous laisse le micro.
Alors c'est rare, mais c'est très important, qui sont les fondements même de la démocratie, la solidité de l'information.
Merci Bernard Marchand, le micro qui est en face de vous.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs. Et merci monsieur Instant pour vos mots et l'accueil et l'organisation et merci à l'ensemble des équipes. Pour trouver, pour débattre justement de la force de notre démocratie à Arras dans cette cité scolaire, c'est pour moi tout à fait réussir à se protéger, être une société plus en éveil et d'ailleurs...
Applaudissements, monsieur, merci beaucoup.
Pour commencer, je vais d'abord vous présenter le déroulé de ces 2 heures que nous allons passer ensemble. Question de lecteurs dans un échange direct et spontané, comme on aime le faire dans les postes lecteurs de la web.
Parce qu'ils sont hors la loi, racistes, sexistes, homophobes.
Confondu tout âge, et depuis l'après-Covid, je m'assagais qui n'ont pas été sensibilisés, je dirais, à l'analyse critique de ces informations.
Quelque peu, donc en fait, je like ou je suis des pages qui sont contraires à mes propres.
Effectivement, une réaction et puis ensuite une question qui a évolué.
De choses et d'autres, et je me rends compte un peu comme Liliane, en fait, la demande, est-ce que quelque chose est envisagé ou envisageable pour nos aînés
d'équiter les élections législatives à venir en 2026.
We will do everything to put in place a label. We must be careful. It is not the government or the state that can say, this is information, this is not. We don't want to fall into that trap either, because that's not what democracy is about. On the other hand, I think it's important that there be a label created by professionals who can say this corresponds to the ethics of people who handle information.
À la déontologie de gens qui manipulent de l'information. C'est une matière dangereuse, l'information. Et donc il y a des règles.
In the next municipal elections, in the next presidential elections, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. More and more of our fellow citizens are going to go to their AI, to their AI agent, and they're going to ask, who am I going to vote for?
Sur leur agent IA, ils vont dire pour qui je veux voter. Ça, c'est la chose. Et là, on va rentrer, je vais vous le dire, dans un autre monde. Parce que moi, je ne sais pas ce que ChatGPT va recommander de voter. Ce que je sais, c'est que les gens qui possèdent ChatGPT, qu'il y a les intérêts qu'il y a derrière, je ne suis pas sûr que ce soit des intérêts démocratiquement neutres ou totalement alignés avec les intérêts de la France.